Hello, I'm Gill from engVid, and today's lesson is about the little word the and how to say it, how to pronounce it. You might think, what? I know how to pronounce that word, but there are two different ways of pronouncing it, and this lesson is designed to show you how to work out which way to say it. Okay, so the simple rule is before a consonant you say the, but before a vowel sound you say the. So it's either the or the. So let me just go through some examples to show you how that works. So before a consonant sound, the banana, the dog. But then we get our first exception, which is confusing because this word begins with an E, which is a vowel letter. But the way it's pronounced, it has a Y at the beginning. Y, European, European. So we say the European. Okay, so that's a slight confusion to be aware of. Continuing on, the flowers, the house, the man, the people. Another exception again, because this word begins with a U, which is a vowel letter, but the actual sound when you say this word is a Y. University, university. It's not university, it's university. So the university. Okay, and finally, the woman, the woman. So that's the before a consonant sound. So let's have a look at the other column. Before the vowel sound, we say the. So the apple, the elephant, the ice cream, the orange, the umbrella. You can see here, umbrella also begins with a U, just like university, but it's not pronounced umbrella, it's pronounced umbrella. So the umbrella, okay. And finally, here's another funny one. It begins with an H, so you might think, well, that's a consonant, but it is actually a vowel sound because we don't pronounce the H in this word. You may know the word air, which we had in another lesson about using a and an. The air is usually, well, male, and the heiress, female, but often the word air is used for female as well nowadays. For reasons of equality. So, but the heiress, so it's an heiress, so that's a vowel sound, so the heiress, okay, so that's another one to remember along with the Y sound here. So it's purely the way you say it which decides whether it's the or the. Okay, so now we'll move on to a second screen and we'll do some sentences for you to work out how to pronounce each time the word the or the appears. So, okay, so what I should have said at the end of the last section was the word heir and heiress. I didn't explain what they meant. So if you hadn't seen the other lesson, you might not know that. So an heir or an heiress is someone who inherits something, often money or property, something like that. So, okay. Right, so here is the test for you of how to pronounce the word the, the or the. And as you can see, we have some sentences here, and every time the word appears, I've underlined it in red just to help you to see it. So, first sentence, ferry crossed Irish Sea. So how would you pronounce the word there? Okay, so the goes before a consonant sound. So F is a consonant. So the ferry, crossed. And what about this one? I is a vowel sound. So it's the Irish Sea, the Irish Sea. So the ferry crossed the Irish Sea. Okay. Next one. Right way is only way. Okay, so how would you pronounce those two? So R is a consonant, so the right way is only. That begins with an O, which is a vowel, only, so the only way. The right way is the only way. Okay. Next one. We have 3 examples in this sentence. So, answer is at back of book. So, what would you do there? Answer, back, book. So, answer begins with an A, which is a vowel. So, it's the answer. The answer is at. Back and book begin with B, which is a consonant. So, the back of the book. Okay. Next one. Fire hasn't reached upper floor. Upper means at the top of the building. Up at the top. Okay. So, fire begins with an F. So that's a consonant. So, the fire hasn't reached. Upper begins with U, which is a vowel sound. So it's the upper floor. The fire hasn't reached the upper floor. Okay. Right. Next one. Girl felt at home in empty house. So if you feel at home, you feel comfortable, you like your surroundings. Okay. So girl begins with G, which is a consonant. So the girl felt at home in. Empty begins with E, which is a vowel. So the empty house. The girl felt at home in the empty house. Okay. Next one. I will join union in morning. So union is to do with your profession, for your employment rights and so on. And you pay a subscription to join. So I will join. Union begins with a U, which is a vowel sound. So, no, hang on. This is one of those exceptions. Union. So, I nearly caught myself out there. It's a Y sound. So, the union. It's not the onion, because onion is a different word altogether. With an O, an onion is a vegetable. So this is the union. Okay, so I will join the union in M consonant, the morning. Okay, so that's a funny little exception there. Next one. Say you're in a big department store with lots of floors and they have escalators going up and down, and you can't decide which department to go to first. So you're with a friend, you might say, shall we take up escalator or down escalator? Okay, so which one would you use, the or the? So before up, letter U is a vowel sound, up, so it's the up, the up. Shall we take the up escalator, or, and then before down, D is a consonant, so the down escalator. Okay. And then finally, here's another one, a little exception, because there's an H here which is not pronounced. So the word honour, honourable, it sounds like an O. We don't pronounce the H. So it's honourable thing to do. Which would you use there? Okay, so it's the honourable, this one, the honourable thing to do. Okay, so I'm sure you got those all right. And we also have a quiz for you to test that a little bit further on the website, engvid.com. So do go to that and try that, see how many points you can get, and see you again soon. Okay, bye for now.